Peace, y'all. Ephraim here. What is good? Today, I want to talk to you about doing the first things first, right? And I want to touch on the value of that from my experience, my life personally. So, um, quick intro. I have a book that I really like. I have to get you guys the name from the author. I don't know the author's name off top, but the book is called Doing the Hard Things First. And I feel like it's really helped me because there was a lot of challenges I had, I feel like, just mentally on just how I was looking at my priorities in life. And that book really helped push me to kind of reframe that, right? And it's like, how many times do we put things off, we procrastinate just to be like, I'm going to eventually get to this, even though we might really value those things, but we just feel like they're hard in the moment, And my thing is, I never want to downplay a situation and make it seem like it might, it's not hard, like it's not, there's not some difficulty, right, with things that we want to achieve, especially when we have big goals. However, the reason why I really say do the first things first is because to me, it all comes down to the choice of our priorities and how we choose to look at our perspective in life, right? And so I ain't even completely intro y'all because I want to stick with the first thing first. But welcome to my humble abode. I'm in Chicago, man. If y'all been tuned in, this journey has been a process for me to get here, and there's been a lot of things. Shoot, today, how I started the past couple days, past couple weeks, to be honest, that have been filled with priorities in my life and things that I know I need to do and I need to accomplish in order to make space for myself, right? To make it easier, right? To live with ease. And that whole reason, again, I go back to saying these are first things, not necessarily hard things, is because the more that I change my perspective, the more that I'm open to how can I accomplish this and what actually is the value of me doing this, right? And when I say value, I'm talking specifically from my subjective perspective, right? This is what I value. This is what I want to see in my life. And I think about even being a creator, and I talk to a lot of my peoples, my friends, man, people that I really rock with and I have conversations with. They know when I brought up to them, like, I'm at a place in life with my choices where I'm prioritizing the things that I want to see, that I want to achieve, and what I actually want to create, right? Meaning, what does that mean, right? I'm not giving my time and my energy to things and situations that I don't want to see flourish, right? If I feel like it's not adding value to my life, this again goes back to people, places, circumstances, maybe just different agreements, we could say. Um, yeah, really just if this situation and this exchange isn't working for me, and it's not getting me closer to my goals and ultimately my purpose, then it's not a priority, to say the least. Because I've heard me wanted to say, like, it's not worth it, it's not worth my time, and that may be true as well, to be honest. But it's just like the first things are like what is urgent and what is impacting my life now, but also setting me up for the future in a major way. And I just look at, I think we might have started to touch on it earlier, but for me, I'm a person that sometimes I think about what I'm really passionate about. I think about the things that I really love doing, the things that I really, really want. And how many times have, y'all maybe been a person as well, where we procrastinate on the things that we really value, we love, and we appreciate most. Or even if it's a goal, that goal might be on the other side of overcoming some type of fear, right? Or at least a perceived notion of fear, right? That feeling of what is gonna happen, like once I get started, once I do this. I think for me, it's largely because my relationship with fear is very interesting. It's not even like things are like the boogeyman, like this specific thing, like I'm just terrified of this. Especially like even now, I feel very calm, man, just very calm in my nervous system. But a lot of times for me, that fear has really been of the unknown and my personal success, right? It's like, quite frankly, being completely transparent. I had such a realization within the past few years, and I feel like maybe it was present when I was younger in my teens, but the past 3 to 4 years, I had such big realizations that, oh man, with my aspirations and my goals, what I'm looking to do and what I want to accomplish, there's a bigger, greater version of myself, right? A more expansive version, I could say, of myself, just like I'm talking to y'all making this content. And you know what? Not only this, right? Not only that expansion, with that comes, the growing pains, right? The uncomfortable insecurities and all those moments. But also, right, we have different responsibilities. And for those who really know me, I built a brand on accountability, right? And that really means a lot to me. I have a song called Accountability. It's on the SoundCloud for Ito Langston. If y'all want to tap in, I'll probably link that one this time too. But I say it because that song was like a message for me. Like, that truly was a godsend. It was like God sending that message through me, and like for me, just embodying what does accountability look like in my life when I'm going through grief, I'm going through these cycles of ups and downs. How can I be accountable for the way that I'm showing up in my relationships with people? I think about a big thing I've started to talk with you guys about as well is the relationship I have with my mom, right? And growing up being raised by a single parent. I just had a conversation like yesterday with somebody mentioning that single parents, it's not easy to be in a household like by yourself. It's crazy. I have siblings almost a decade older than me at least. Like the youngest is just about 10 years older than me. The next youngest. I still was at home with my mom like by myself, and it's kind of difficult when you just take in the perspective of one person, and whether it's right or wrong, whatever they're dealing with, you kind of, or at least I really took in, especially as an empathetic person, I took in a lot of that energy. I took it upon myself to make sure she's good, right? Help her with her regulation, basically be her friend. Like, I'm keep it real with y'all. That's really what it is. I think sometimes when our parents don't have a lot of outlets, or they don't have a lot of people, as a kid from a young age, you can be that person to them and for them. And so for me, taking that upon myself, it's like, okay, this kind of got me out of my childhood energy. Like, I'm not really playing around. Like, everything is serious. A lot of times, it's tense. We had great moments. We did things like, go out to the movies, go out to eat, and we bonded at times. But at a point, by the time I was 14, a lot of that changed. As my life is changing, I'm getting older, and just even for my mom, different priorities start to take place. And financially, right, we think about being responsible. That was one thing my mom was always very upfront with me. She had very upfront to the point, to a fault, to where it's like, it's not the most ideal to be a kid. You have no way to contribute to a household, but you're learning about this, right? You're learning about finances, and not just like I'm educating you, but more so like this is what we gotta do this month. Like, this is what I'm praying to God for, that we gonna we're gonna make a way. And it did always work out, for real. It really did, and I'm grateful. I'm really grateful to my mom for that. But what I'm saying is that I had to become more accountable and responsible for how am I processing the past? How am I processing my childhood? How am I processing the relationship that I have with my mom, the emotions that I felt and what I've received from her, and also just being more understanding of this was her situation. Like, I have no idea what it's like to get married and watch your husband die from cancer. It is what it is, quite frankly. So it's like, dang, it allowed me to be really empathetic for her. And I didn't even expect to go in that direction. But I say that because clearly that's on my heart, that's in my soul, because it's a priority for me, right? So when I think about my family, when I think about my mom, and like how I always speak highly of her, and I just kind of constantly am aware, and I'm considering her. Now it's at a point where, even that being the case, I still left home. I knew when we was living together and I need to get my own apartment, it's time. Like, yeah, I have boundaries, right? And that's my priority. And so I'm not going to allow my boundaries to be violated or not be treated like an adult. And rightfully so, just because, I'm relying on her for situations. So I'm like, no, you know what? I'm going to take my life into my own hands. And as much as I do love, appreciate, and respect my mom, it's like, now that I'm an adult, I have to make my own decisions. Hence, I am here. I am in Chicago. It's beautiful and I love it. But I had to start making that, instead of being, a hard decision to be like, oh, I'm going to up and leave home. So many people said this to me, to be honest. You're going to, wow, you up and leave. I love it from my bro. Like, he was affirming me. He was like, yo, that's a big move, man. I'm 27. He's like, going to a new state, new city, like, that's a big move. And I'm like, thank you, bro. I'm just starting to really receive it. But when everybody that I've been close to tells me and salutes me and affirms me, I do appreciate it. I really do. And they say, that's a big step. My thing is just, what got me here was in my mind. I knew it was a priority. I knew what I wanted, and it wasn't anything hard. Like, when I was 18 years old, I had moved to New England because I had co-ops. I had engineering jobs that, like, I was required to complete in order to graduate. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna do 2 of them back to back. And they was like, oh, whoa, like, what you gonna? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, man, because it's like, that's beautiful. Like, that's a new opportunity for me to expand and see more of the world, experience more life, right? Continue to get educated and professional development, but also deeper into myself. Like, just having my own space to see, how do I perform in this new environment, right? How do I engage with it, and how do I learn more about life? You feel me? Because I feel like that's just the goal at the end of the day, to progress. As long as we're alive, we're here to grow. Otherwise we would be dying. I feel like if we become stagnant and we don't evolve from where we're at, then that's really the true death. But as long as I'm here, I'm growing, I'm evolving, I'm learning more, then that's life. I'm living. You feel me? So when I started really being intentional with my own life and taking accountability for those type of decisions, instead of being like, I already knew, like, I'm not a victim. My older sister who passed, was the same way. Even though she had her own choices, she never felt like she was from what I know, at least she never portrayed that she was a victim to her circumstances and her choices. It was just what she wanted to do. So all this comes down to priorities in life. And when I think about making sure I'm able to afford this apartment, but reaching out, I had to go back and forth with a landlord so many times. And not even a landlord, it was actually a guy that I met who was like a property manager for another property that told me to reach out, show me apartment. He's like, all right, do this, send me your information, send me your license, send me pay stubs. Oh, I'm not employed, I'm self-employed. I do contract work. Okay, send me those pay stubs, send me screenshots, screenshots from DoorDash, Uber, whatever. Boom, do that. Okay, fill out the application. Do that. Oh, how's your credit? My credit's not that great. Oh, you might need a cosigner. Okay, we'll see. Do the application. Oh, I'm denied. Boom. Hey, I know another guy. You can't get in this one, but he might be able to get you in this other apartment. I'm like, okay, it's by the lake. It's still Lakeview by the water. Bet, man. So being persistent, it's like, you know what? This is a priority to me. As much as I'm not just here to just talk about like, oh, I'm gonna move to Chicago, like come to you guys every week. I'm being accountable by having this conversation with y'all, and I thank y'all for that. But I'm just like, nah, man, I'm not about to just be out here. I'm not one of those people, man. I'm not one of them niggas, man. Where I'm just like talking about it. That irritates my soul, bro. And being like a hypocrite. I just never want to be that. So it's important for me to be accountable. Like, these are the first things I need to accomplish to move forward and progress. And the reality is that I even heard this maybe like a couple of years ago. It was things that was changing my perspective. If you are not valuing and using your time and energy, someone else will. Bro, when I was in my hometown, Buffalo, New York, so many people were seeing my value and how resourceful I was without even really affirming me and telling me anything. And that's the honest to God truth. That's the honest truth. People, like, there would be some gestures and people might show love and say things here and there. But a lot of people I'm learning might have a hard time recognizing the God within you and just that light. You feel me? They might have a hard time acknowledging your value and your worth because they don't acknowledge their own. You feel me? And people are not always willing to do the work that is required because they perceive it as hard, because they say to themselves, oh, that's hard, instead of just doing it, right? I was saying to a friend today, like, you gotta be, do, then have. And I think I talked with my bro Aaron. I don't know if we mentioned it on our collab video, but it's so real. I just had those conversations, and when I've kind of learned this myself, and it becomes like a subliminal subconscious thing where I was really learning how to embody every time I'm doing content, making a video. Every day I wake up and it's just like, it's the creative act, man. It's the artist way. It's like, just be the person, do the thing, and then you're gonna have everything. But a lot of people want to have everything first. Even again, we talk about hypocrisy, being a hypocrite, bro. I'm not here to be a hypocrite because so many times, again, the way that I was raised and my values, and even with my mom showing me like the value of material things, but I didn't realize how my parental figure put so much emphasis on material things and even the habits that I developed. Granted, I love acts of service, and I do like affirmations for sure, and I value more now, like giving them, I guess, as like a love language. But for me, gifts is just a big thing, and I just feel like maybe it was because when I was a kid, I'm not trying to sound sad, but like, my mom couldn't give me a bunch of gifts, and I had my family, but I'm not gonna say ostracized, but I wasn't as immersed in like my whole family dynamics, like on all sides. One side of my family, my mom's side, we just never really that close or connected. We were more, I guess, when I was younger. When my cousins and for myself when we were kids, like from that generation. Even though my cousins are older too, when we were younger and we go to my grandma's, it's like cool. We were like closer, and I feel like it's always that thing when the kids are kids. But the more that I got older, we became functional within dysfunction. Everybody doing their own thing, and it's not always that it's a hard issue, because even like now my elder family members, aunts, grandma, and uncle, and like they kind of call and they keep in contact with each other, but it's not like the family reunion gathering and everybody laughing and kiki every other week. It's like, nah, bro. I'll see you when I see you, and Lord willing. But it's just funny because we just always expect that, we're gonna see each other, until situations like when my sister passed. It's just like a shock, right? It's like, wow, we never expected that to happen, especially her, because my sister was doing everything. She taking care of everybody, and that's the thing about life, right? A lot of times those people who show up for everybody, they're the person who might need someone showing up for them the most. So I think for me, like always giving and giving to other people, I do like to receive things as well. And it's not about the monetary value at all. Because even when I do it for my mom and for friends, I realize it's not about the money. It's just the thoughtfulness behind that gesture, and knowing like, oh, somebody thought of me, right? That's how I look at it. Somebody thought of me and they were intentional about what they selected for me based off of perceiving what I like and what I enjoy. And so they knew how to give me something that adds value to my life. And so that's why, because it is true, because I like those things, I consistently look to pour into other people, because I'm like, oh, this is going to add value to their life. Like if they have this, they're going to be better. But it's just also realizing the best things that we can have are intangible, right? So now when I focus more on knowledge, now when I focus more on my mental wellness, spiritual wellness, that holistic being, right? I got my T's like right over here. When I focus on that, as well as just again, just knowing more and just learning how to communicate and be with other people, that's the best thing I can do, right? That is me embodying like a higher version of myself, a healthier, wealthier version of myself, who has standards. And yeah, those standards should be high. They up there. They not down here. You feel me? The big, not the little. Just not serious at all, but I'm so serious. So what I'm saying is, yeah, man, with that, I just realized like, wow, these are the things that I want in my life. And yeah, of course, nobody's gonna come save me. I'm like, hey, I'm a black man in America. But I'm just saying, my father's been deceased like majority of my life, since I was about 2 years old. And, my mom's doing the best that she can. And I'm looking to be able to support and take care of her. And, attempt to repay her for all of the energy and time that she's invested in my life, and just be grateful for that. So for me to reach these goals and also look out for the rest of my family, my sister, nieces and nephews, help mentor and develop and grow the next generation within my family and have my own family, I have to be on point. Like I can't be over here slacking. Like I'm looking at this book right now. This is a good one. Shout out Jason Wilson, The Man the Moment Deserves. Yeah, I love the idea of that book and the themes behind it. Yeah, I'm not gonna get all into it, but I like what he portrays about just masculinity in general, right? We think about what does that role even mean for a man to be a provider and embody all these things, and that's just what it is, man. Like we can say we live in a new age, a new era, and yeah, it's beautiful, but it's nothing new under the sun, so to speak. So there's always going to be a value in a use for a man in playing a certain role in life. And I don't find anything wrong with me being a patriarch in my family. I don't find anything wrong in the slightest, actually, about that. But I do think there's ways to evolve. I think there's ways to actually play a masculine role and be objective, not let my emotions and feelings rule, what I'm doing, and making sure that I'm considering the people around me, because to me that's what masculinity is about. That's what being a diplomat is, and I do consider myself more of that. I felt that and received it for some time, and so yeah, so many things where I'm just like, even if it's the small details, right? It can be the smallest thing, but this is the first thing. And I tell you, like, just the conversations that I had, even moments more recently, when I thought to myself, the intrusive thought, like, I really don't feel like doing this, or I don't feel like having this conversation, but at the same time, I do feel like having it, because I value the people, I value the relationships, and when I began practicing gratitude and I think about this is the support that I've gained, right? And these are the places where I've been able to be welcome and feel more at home with myself, right? And that could be, again, relationships. It can be a multitude of things, but I know that this resonates with me, so I want to value it. I want to acknowledge it, and I'm just grateful for the moments and the people that I've had in my life who truly have helped me see deeper into myself. And so for that reason, I know it's a priority. I know it's something that's valuable to me, and I don't want to just abandon something, right? And I don't want to just put it off as an afterthought, because again, nothing is promised, right? We're not entitled to anything, and that means even just waking up the next day. So the more that I've thought about that, like, in my life, appreciating every day, and even when I felt like I wasn't gonna be here anymore, or it might not be no point of me being here, I feel like God really showed me there's so much purpose. And I don't talk much about this too, but maybe I'll share with y'all somehow. But like these synchronicities, it's like, dang man, it's God spell for real. Like, God will really just be talking to me, like literally just through life, through the words, through the moments, and for me to be able to listen. That is the confirmation to where it's like, yeah, God is ever present with me. And I want to make sure that I'm living my life in accordance of what I've been given, right? The vision that I've been given, but also the purpose that I know I'm meant to fulfill. And just allowing space, making room for God to just reveal for me, or reveal for me and to me, to show, like, give me the eyes to see what's really in front of me. And I will say, we never know who we might be able to impact and how that impact might have an effect, because things can spiral, things can, just create a ripple effect to where we are in a collective experience. I've learned more of that, like, isolation isn't real. As much as I be wanting to be isolated, I'm in an apartment, bro. That's why I'm like so chill right now, because I'm like, I'm ready to take a nap and just be happy. But I have things to do, and I just moved in with the U-Haul. I still got it. Y'all should see the chaos around me, but I love it because it's just like, it's organized chaos, and that's what I grew up in. But I'm learning my new standard, and my new baseline is like, nah, somebody mentioned to me when I was at this event, perfection. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. but I'm willing to get started. And if I can leave y'all with something, I say the biggest thing is like with the first things being first. Do not be afraid to just get started. Don't expect this to be perfect, because I'll be doing things. Bro, I spent like 10 minutes trying to get that camera on this box and it's just floating right now in the air. But don't even worry about that. I did all that because I'm like, yeah, it don't have to be perfect, but I can put effort into what I'm doing. I can be intentional about what I'm creating and how I see and the experience, because I care about your eyes, I care about your ears. We got this mic, check. So it's intentionality, and that's taken me a long way, and that's where I'm learning. Like, you know, they say if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And so I'm learning how to go together as well. I just realized that it's all on God's time, not mine. It's not up to me to make decisions for other people. Everybody has their choice, and I'm just grateful to be a part of the experience. And so I'm focused on mine, and that's what it is. So yeah, thank y'all again. I feel like that's primarily it. We talk about priorities. Oh, and then just also, I feel like with these moments, when a lot of times when I'm communicating and I'm putting the first things first, that allows the space to even clear space. Like, I had to make space to be able to record this video. And I told my bro, I literally said to Aaron, I sent him a message the other day. I'm like, bro, I accidentally did the thing on the iPhone where you type and it was just like blank spaces, like Taylor Swift. It just came in my head. But it was just spaces, and I was like, oh, I sent a voice note. I was like, oh, my bad, bro. This is so funny if Aaron see this, because if he get this far, I'm like, oh man, my bad, bro. I sent a space. But you see, what God will do in your life is that sometimes he gotta make use of that space that I sent you, that he gave us. He gave us that space for a reason, and yeah, it's purposeful. And I feel like with that space and those moments to pause and listen, you feel me, to be intentional, that brings clarity. And so being in my own space, having my own environment that I'm creating, I love it so much, and I'm so grateful for this moment. It's the first video I'm recording in my crib, my new crib in Chicago, the first one, because I'm about to have hella cribs. I'm grateful because it's coming with clarity, and my life is so much clearer than it was a couple months ago, the start of the year, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, so on and so forth. So yeah, keep putting your first things first. You know, make choices that align with your goals, your values, and priorities. And I'm certain in divine timing, it's gonna be looking up for you. You know, we are successful in creating what we want to see. So thank y'all again. Ephraim out. Peace.